Hi, third graders. It's me again. Today we're doing 9-4. And as you can see in the title, we'll be adding 3 or more numbers. Some of the numbers will be 2-digit numbers, some will be 3-digit numbers. Sometimes we're adding 3 numbers together all stacked up, sometimes 4 numbers. So we'll see as we go. We're going to get started right away with the visual learning video.
How can you add more than 2 numbers? Let's find out. Different kinds of birds are for sale at a pet store. How many birds are for sale? Find 137 plus 155 plus 18.
A bar diagram can show 3 addends.
Round to the nearest 10 to estimate. 140 plus 160 plus 20 equals 320. So there are about 320 birds for sale. When you estimated the sum, why did you round to the nearest 10? "18 is a 2-digit number, so it makes sense to round all the numbers to the nearest 10. Now find the exact answer. Step 1. Line up the ones, tens, and hundreds. Why is it important to line up the numbers correctly? You want to be sure to add digits that have the same place value. Step 2. Add the ones. Regroup. Step 3. Add the tens. Regroup. Why are there 2 small numbers above the addends? They show that 20 ones have been regrouped as 2 tens, and that 10 tens have been regrouped as 100. Step 4. Add the hundreds. Why is no regrouping needed?
All right, this just takes us through the steps to help us decide when to regroup when we're adding a 3-digit number. Line up the ones, tens, and hundreds. It's really important, right, that this 18 is lined up properly. If you write the 18, just even shift it over one spot, it makes a big difference. Then the value of this digit 1 is no longer 10. If you put it over here under the other ones, then it would be 100. And this 8 wouldn't be 8 ones. It would be, if we moved it over, it would be 8 tens, and we would just get the wrong answer. So be sure to line up the digits. And then it takes us through all the steps. Adding the ones, adding the tens, and finally adding the hundreds.
You do not need to regroup because there are fewer than 10 hundreds. In all, 310 birds are for sale. The answer is reasonable since 310 is close to 320. Now you know how to add more than 2 numbers.
So remember, 320 was the estimate from the beginning of the video when we rounded each of the addends to the nearest 10. That was the estimate. Alrighty. All right, this is guided practice on page 495. So follow along. Number 1, well, actually for both 1 and 2, they want us to look at the example from the previous page, the same one we saw in the visual learning video. So it asks, why is there a 2 above the tens place in step 2? I just sort of snipped out from that previous page the step 2 so we can see it right here on the slide. Step 2 says add the ones, regroup. So in this step, there's a little 2 above the tens place. Why is that? Pause for a moment and see if you can practice saying aloud to someone, explaining what this little 2 above the tens place represents. So if you said when we added the ones, 7, 5, and 8, we got 20 ones. This 2 is the regrouped tens. So 2 tens were regrouped from the 20 ones. Number 2 asks, if you add the numbers in this order, so you notice which 2 numbers were switched. If you add the numbers in this order, do you get the same sum? Explain why or why not. So compare it with the order. We can even just look at this one in step 2, or you can look at the previous page. Instead of the 137 at the top, they listed 155 at the very top. And 137 is under that, and then 18 is down below. So can you rearrange the numbers? Why or why not? Think about your answer, and we're going to talk about it in a few minutes in the video. So then let's pause the video for a moment so that you can work on the guided practice numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6. For these, you find the sum. Just find the exact sum. And the character is saying with the speech bubble there, you can use estimation to check if your sums are reasonable. I'll leave that up to you if you want to practice doing that with at least one of them. You could, since all of these include an add-in that is a 2-digit number, it would make the most sense to estimate to the nearest 10. Each add-in should be estimated to the nearest 10. Then you add those up and see what your estimated sum is, and then check and see if your exact answer is reasonable. So again, pause the video to work out these problems. Pause it. Did you pause it? All right, we'll go on then. Here are the answers to guided practice. Please check your work. Remember, you can rewind and pause if you need to keep checking your answers for guided practice. All right, this is the final slide in our video. Independent practice. As usual, you can choose between working online or the workbook pages. So take a look, see what the choices are, make your decision, and I'll look forward to seeing your independent practice evidence. If you're doing the work online, I can just log on and see that evidence, see which ones you're getting correct or incorrect. And if you're working in the workbook pages, look carefully at the problem numbers that are assigned. There are 7 problems. So circle those in your workbook now. Make sure you're doing the right pages. And then please have a parent take a picture of your workbook pages and send me an email or a message through Schoology so that I can see that you've done the work. We don't have math check-ins on Fridays anymore. Okay? All right. And even if you decide to do the workbook pages, you can still log on to Pearson anytime, or Savas or whatever it's called now. You can watch a video, like another look video, if that helps you. You can play at it, which makes more sense probably today as opposed to yesterday's work, since it's adding more than 3 numbers, or 3 or more numbers. Okay, so that's it. And congratulations, you made it through another week. And I'll see you, if you're in my homeroom class, I'll see you at our class meeting. If not, I'll see you next week. Bye.